Chemistry Room Fragrances is the perfect addition when elevating the vibe of any space. Whether if it's your home, car, or office, and something needs a quick refresh, our room fragrances provide that beautiful burst of fragrance with just one quick mist. Shop now at www.chemistryroomfragrances.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram at Chemistry Room Fragrances. Chemistry Room Fragrances. Smells so good. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Camille Essick, host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. First of all, I do want to thank everyone for joining me throughout this year. It's definitely been a year of surprises, and I'm super, super thankful just for everything. So be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. We're live right now across multiple platforms. So, yeah, I do want to hear from you. So you can reach out to me via email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com or Instagram. I do have my Instagram page available right here. Let's see. Right there at IG at Camille.Essick. And I have a lot of merch available right now. If you were a subscriber, you would have gotten that notification. We did have our Cyber Monday sale and our Black Friday sale. Things went really good on all of our merchandise. It was 40% off. I am running specials all the time. Right now for my subscribers, if you go to my website at GBM15 right there, that is the coupon code at chemistryroomfragrances.com. That way you can save on all the merchandise, as well as with my Amazon store and my Etsy shop where I have my digital Lord, I can't talk. Digital Christmas cards. I don't know what's wrong with me. Digital Christmas cards. So I created a collection of cultural-friendly, downloadable digital Christmas cards, holiday cards. They're available right now on my Etsy page, my Etsy shop. So there's a link right there that is available now. Yeah, and be sure to like, comment, and share. So if you haven't done so, please do so. My guest tonight is Khalil Kavon. He's on his way. He had a little technical difficulty. So we are doing a little stretching. It's okay. Things happen. But be sure to follow Khalil right there on IG at Khalil Kavon. I met Khalil actually through not Power 5, Lord, the Mark Coley Business Academy. It was like a digital online internship with other creatives and entrepreneurs throughout the pandemic. It was founded by Mark Coley, and we went to, it was like a creative entrepreneurial retreat last year in August. It was really, really just a great experience. And that's where I met Khalil. We had some great conversation and just stay connected throughout the process. And he's been like a little brother to me. He's been on the show before. And I've also interviewed with him as well. He'll probably lead up to that just in a little bit. But always with Khalil, it's a K-Prison event. He's full of energy. If you don't know about Khalil Kavon, he is a celebrity videographer and photographer. He's worked with people like Nicki Minaj and other high A-list celebrities. His work is really, really good. And just an honor to know him and call him brother and friend. So a little bit about me while we're catching up here. This year I'm good. I really don't know what to say. No complaints. I hope everyone had a really good holiday season. I just hung out with a couple sorors and some other, friends hung out, ate. I didn't go crazy or anything like that. I just really wanted to enjoy Thanksgiving food without indulging too much. We're trying to get rid of that post-pandemic body and get back to us. So that's really been my focus. Drinking water. Today I did eat pizza, but that's not just something I do every day. But just really getting back to myself and being healthier. I don't know about you, but just after the pandemic, just the shift and getting back into the normalcy of things, that's really been the major adjustment there. And with that being said, that's pretty much where it is. I do want to thank everyone just for rocking with me throughout this year. I started the speaker podcast 2019. I want to say, it was March 2019. And here we are. We're almost at 8,000 downloads. And in the beginning, I didn't know it was going to get to this level. I started out just doing the streaming version of the podcast. And then Mark, and some other friends pushed me into going live, doing this version. A lot of that had to do also with the pandemic and staying connected with my subscribers and followers. And it's really, it's been a journey. And there he is. Hey, Khalil.
Hello.
You switched it to red, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was telling everyone how we met through TCMBA, and we just got connected through the retreat and everything. And just from then on, it's just been like big sis, little bro vibes. So.
Period.
I will say, I'm like, shout out to people that just talk at just the camera to the audience. I don't see how y'all do it because I just feel like I'm fumbling. It's like I need somebody there for that feedback. I'm a feedback person. Mm-hmm. So kudos to everyone doing the monologues on YouTube because it is nerve-wracking. And especially for someone like me that's an introvert, it's like... It's a switch. It's a whole switch. So before we hop into everything, first of all, Khalil, how are you doing? Like, where are you at? How are you doing?
I am well. Today has been a very, very interesting day, but we are here. We are blessed and we are highly favored. All right.
The word of the day is eventful.
Oh, we love the eventful. Yes. How are you, sister?
Honey, since our brunch, we need to do that again. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I'm cool. Well, you know what? I take it back. Today, I actually had a moment and I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And I started going through my phone and I found my text thread with Michael.
Oh.
Yeah. And for a minute, I was kind of like, Then I was like, I'm okay. But I was feeling away for a minute, but it wasn't like a sadness. It was just like, man, I miss my friend.
And that's real.
And I think maybe the holiday season has something to do with that, but yeah.
The holiday season definitely has something to do with that, especially, with people that you either lost or, people that were very close to you. Like, I could only imagine, how you would feel, even with my mom. My mom's birthday is coming up on the 5th. And so it's like around this time, you see certain pictures or you see certain things, this is a time where you want to be close to the people that you really love. And so it's like when that person is not there, I know for you, it was just like that, like, you have that moment, like, I want to pick up the phone, I want to call you, I want to chit chat. And it's just like, well, dang, I can't do that.
Well, this is our Kiki weekend. So if you're feeling away, let me know. We can go grab brunch again. Just let me know.
Let's do it.
So, and speaking of that, going into our conversation, for those that are not, I tried to introduce you as best I could, but I feel like you could do a better job. So just formally introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers.
Yeah, so my name is Khalil Kavon, and this is another great time to be a part of the Speaker podcast. I'm so excited to be back. I am a multi-hyphenate entrepreneur, director, videographer, photographer. I own a branding firm and video production company, and we are working on so many great things right now that I can't tell y'all yet. I'm also a songwriter, creative, podcast host of Creative Radio. So there's so many different things and so many different umbrellas so many different hats that I wear, but I'm learning to put that under one umbrella for 2023. That's one of my goals, one of the visions. So yes.
Today was so interesting. Like we're using that term. It was a very interesting day, full of surprises. What do you do, Khalil, when your pivots? Like you have a plan and then your day just goes, like, how do you handle that? What do you do?
Yes. See, this is the wonderful time to talk about this because, we had this plan. We talked about this for weeks. I was excited. I was ready. And I kind of got a call like literally an hour before we were supposed to do this. And it just threw basically my whole schedule off for today. And at first, I was just like, oh, like, how are we going to, like, not today? Today is not the day for that. But I think I'm becoming, in this season of my life, I'm becoming more present. And instead of trying to tap into fear, I have to be like, okay, how can I make the best of this moment here where I can control things? What can I control and what can I not control? Like, I couldn't control that, but I can control me still showing up here, doing the best that I can. So when those pivots happen, it's really being true and authentic to yourself and really understanding like, what can I control and what can I not control? Because when you advance and when you go further, there's things that you but what can you control and what can you not control? So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I had that conversation actually with someone today, not even kidding. And they were just kind of venting. And sometimes you need that listening ear or whatever else is. I'm not a trash can, but I will listen. I have my limits. We don't got to protect our peace over here.
Come on.
So I was listening and they were just venting about what other people were doing. And this person's doing this and this person's doing that. And it had them in such a place of frustration, and after I allowed them to get that out of their system, I kind of said, hey, you can only take on so much. You can't control what this person is doing. You can't control what that person is doing. And at some point, you have to step back and focus on, is it bringing you peace? Is it putting you in a better place financially? Like, what is really going on here? And you really have to set those limits and boundaries. Otherwise, you're going to continually be in this space to where you're not happy, you're finding fault. If you continue to indulge in that too much, then you're going to be in a place of bitterness. You're going to be frustrated. You're not going to be able to focus. You're not going to be able to create, because now all this energy that you should be getting to hear spiritual downloads from God for your brand, your business, yourself, and things and people around you, that discernment, there's going to be a stifling going on, and you're not going to be able to flow the way you should because you're focused on things that don't even warrant your energy. And so you've got to learn how to filter all that junk out and say, okay, that has nothing to do with me. Okay, they're doing it, then let them do what they do. But you need to just guard this space right here and get yourself in a better space so you can be the best version for yourself.
Absolutely.
So I think that's very important. Sometimes, we have a plan. What's the saying? You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And life, like they say, life be life, and things are going to happen. You have to learn how to pivot. But sometimes when you have your plan and your plan B, what can you do? You may have a plan C, and that's where you have to learn how to be flexible, be resourceful, or just say, hey, babe, maybe this wasn't for me in the beginning, and I need to find another route or or look for another door.
That's important what you just said about, identifying doors. We can call it that, identifying doors. Because I think sometimes, let me not say sometimes, because then you're speaking about yourself. So up until now, I've been working on this with my therapist. Up until now, we sometimes be like, oh, that's a door that we thought, we're going to walk in, or that's a door that we thought that was going to happen, or we thought it was going to happen like this. And I called the door that, but that's like when you really sit back, was that really the door for you? Or maybe that door closed for a reason. Maybe that door, maybe there was some stuff behind that door that was not for you. Maybe there was some stuff that was going to eat you alive that you didn't need. And then there's other open doors that if you allow God to give you the correct gift and you receive it, it allows you to flourish. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear about doors.
I think I think it's all about opportunity and timing. I know for me, I've learned that doors, there's a window, right?
Hmm.
There's a
Hmm.
time where if you don't walk through it, it's going to close.
Yep.
May not come around again,
Yep.
but then it may come later. But why even take that risk?
That part. Why take that risk? If God gave it to you, why take that risk?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's really important. Um, when you're dealing with that and facing personal giants, I know you kind of shared with your mom, her birthday coming up in the holidays. So just for you, like, what are you doing now? Because you mentioned therapy. I'm an advocate for therapy. Even though I'm a church girl, I think it's very important that we couple mental health in addition to the prayer life. So as far as your personal journey, as far as dealing with those giants in your life or those tough moments, like where are you right now as far as the tone of society as a Black man in navigating those spaces?
Mm. I think I'm more comfortable with my voice than I was previously when I first started, which I didn't know was a grieving process when my mom passed. This year is like 7 years.
Mm,
I didn't even know what therapy was. I didn't know what, mental health was. I didn't know what depression was. I just thought, these are just things that you're supposed to feel or you're supposed to just, suppress things. And so I think one of the things with me being a Black man and going into those different spaces, I think I'm able to hear people more because society, we put these things where it's just like, this is what needs to be, or this is what we need to go by. But I'm able to hear people more because sometimes we don't hear. We only someone could be talking and we're just like, okay, let me just give my perspective. Let me give my perspective. But I'm able to hear people more and allow them to express, and I'm able to authentically express more, with what I need to say. And I think so many times with Black men, we're always, it's all these different narratives, all these different rules, how Black men should be, how Black men should talk, how Black men should walk. But
do you think you're saying like you're more emotionally sensitive or more vulnerable?
here we
Or
go. Here we go.
level of discernment, like you're more sensitive to what that person's trying to convey to you.
Yes. I couldn't think of the terminology, but that's
Yeah,
to
yeah. I
under.
was trying to just make sure I was understanding what you were saying. So being where you are now, how do you think you are now? So who were you then before that?
Ooh, I would say probably a man with no foundation. God is my foundation, but there were so many different components that I didn't even know before going to therapy that now I'm like, wait a minute, maybe, maybe that the way that you respond to certain things is from, certain traumas that you need to address, or, maybe the way that you talk to people, or maybe the way that you respond to things is from some trauma that you need to address. And so I think now with there's more emotional intelligence. So presently there's more of a emotional emotional intelligent conversation that's had when I'm around peers or talking to people versus before I kind of was just like angry, sad, happy, not knowing how to put those feelings into certain places or being able to feel them, but now I'm able to feel. So if I know that, it's kind of the day feels weird, I'm able to say, okay, let's feel that out and let's see where this goes, but let's not stay in that. Versus before, I would be like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling sad. I can't show up. So yeah, it's more of being centered, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So what happened that made you realize like, hey, I need to go talk to somebody? Like, because I know for me, I got to a point where I was just not that anything. Well, I'll take that back. It was like things were happening.
Hmm.
There was like a sense of I wasn't satisfied within here, and I didn't really know where that was coming from. Or I
Mm,
had seasons where I felt very angry. you know. So I was just wondering, like, for you, what was going on in your life to say, hey, like, I need to investigate this, I need to talk to someone, or what shifted in your life to make you say, hey, I need a therapist?
I say it was a familiar feeling that you just said. I would wake up angry. I would wake up bitter. I would wake up repeatedly. I would wake up feeling some type of just emptiness internally. And it got to the point where I told myself, like, you can't keep waking up like this, or you can't keep feeling like this. This is not normal. Like, okay, maybe, a month, 2 months, a week, a day. But when it started seeming like we were going to a new year, and then it would be the same feeling, and then waking up the same way again, and still doing the same thing over and over again, that's when the reality check, like, maybe you need to try a different approach and go talk to someone. Maybe you need to do something different. Talk to a therapist, talk to someone outside of your norm or your comfortable state, and have a conversation where you can be authentically you and share this versus someone telling you, you shouldn't feel sad, you shouldn't feel depressed, you shouldn't feel like this, you shouldn't feel like that. Because I feel like that kind of is what was limiting me, is what where people kept telling me, you shouldn't feel like this, you shouldn't feel like this, but then I kept waking up feeling the same exact way.
Like a cycle.
Yes.
I mean, I think sometimes culturally we get in these cycles where we feel like, oh, that's normal, or it's just
Mhm.
what it is, or it's just a part of life. But when you're not satisfied and you're not really showing up for yourself, or you're not able to be the best version for you, because you deserve a better you and the world deserves a better you. And I think that's where, even culturally, like even in this space, continue to break that stigma or that cycle, saying, yeah, I believe in God or whatever, but therapy, but it's like you can couple those things together.
Correct. And I think a lot of people don't believe that you can couple God and therapy together. They think it has to be separate, or you don't love God if you go to therapy, etc. So
Yeah, I think that's really good. Being in the space that you are right now, as far as because we're kind of like on this mental health wave, like
mhm.
where do you look at as far as like the toll as a brand creative that social media takes on your mental space? Because to me, at times it is draining. So
Yes.
for you, because you deal with A-list clients, like you just did a bit for Dr. Cindy Trim, and she's amazing, by the way. And so let's first unpack that, like the toll of social media on your mental space.
Yeah, so I would say maybe about 2 years ago, I started to realize how much of a toll social media was really taking on my mental. As a creative, I don't think, this is just my opinion, I do not think that we were built to just be ongoingly putting out content, putting out creations, putting out art. I don't think that is something that we're supposed to be doing like every day.
Right.
And so it gets to the point it becomes draining, because you do need time to rest. You do need time to rejuvenate. You do need time to just reflect. And so for me, I started getting to these points where, you know, after at the time I was about like 12 years in, you started to see, like, when I first started this, this was my happy space. This was my passion. This was something that I really loved. This is something that I really enjoyed doing. And then when it got to the place where I was not enjoying doing my creativity and passion, and it started to become more like a work thing, it started to make me realize that social media was taking its toll, and maybe it's time to do some things differently, because social media was using me versus me using social media as a tool.
How is that? Like, I totally understand what you're saying by that, but can you kind of dig that out just a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think like in the digital age that we live in now, people feel like they have a guaranteed contract to use social media. Like, it has to be your everyday thing. It has to be, the go-to. And it doesn't. Like, you have a life that you have to live outside of social media. And so it's like I had to find the balance between just posting, and not actually living my reality. Like, I was missing so much out on the real things that were going on in life, because I felt like I had to post on social media. I had to operate the business on social media. And it drained me because like it almost feels like you are trying to put on a show every day for people you don't know, people that you're trying to gain to your audience, people that you're trying to add to your audience. It feels like a show. And so after a while, it's draining. Like you it's almost like you're doing it like a theater show. Like, come see me, see this, see that, see that, see this, see that.
That's exactly what I call it. It is shucking and jiving. It's just in the dancery. Like, it is exhausting, and I totally get it. I think it takes away from the core of your brand because you're so focused on the reels and the challenges and which hashtag and the algorithms and the best time to post. And it takes away from, like, for example, I'm a podcaster, yes, but then it's like, oh, I need to do a reel about what I wore today. And then I got to do a reel about how I keep my peace. And then I got to do a reel about, but what about the time I should be spending on editing, production, the admin work of what I do as a podcaster?
Correct.
So what about the comparisons? Because this still goes on. We talk about it, but it's still a thing, Khalil, when we say, oh, well, I'm not really looking at what someone's doing, but you do. Someone's reel pops up and you see they've got 25,000 views, 9,000 likes, and then they're playing these games. So if you get this many likes, then you can go live. Or if you do this, now you can get us. I think Instagram does subscriptions after you hit a certain number. So like Lisa said, it's another rat race. It's a whole nother rat race. Like, really.
A whole nother rat race. And when you realize that there is more to life outside of the rat race, it puts a different perspective for you. Like, I told my assistant even today, I was like, some of like the clients that I've been blessed to have this year have happened through authentic communication. It did not happen through social media.
Yes.
You said what?
The offline relationships.
Offline relationships, correct. A lot of offline relationships have happened for me. And it's like, so why are we doing this rat race and missing out on offline communications? Like, it doesn't have to be the primary source of online, because again, like you said, what does you doing a challenge have to do with your brand? Sometimes a challenge is not for your brand. Like, it's not. And every single trending thing, every single viral thing is not going to be for your brand. I think that's where we get it so mixed up. Like, oh, I have to jump on this because it's trending, or I have to jump on that. And then you do the comparison thing. And you're like, well, she did it and she got 10,000 likes, and then I did it and it only got 1,000 likes or 100 likes over here. So what am I doing wrong? And so it starts to make you, as a business owner, as a creative, as just a person, think like, well, maybe I'm not valuable. And it's so like not true.
Oh, the value part. So learning self-worth, learning value, learning and understanding your gift and your purpose outside of the realm of social media. Yes, it has its space.
Yes.
But if this were to all go away right now, remember when Instagram crashed for like a day or two? Yep. People lost it. They were going off about, I'm losing money, I'm losing followers. And it goes to show, like, does it really have us like that? And for some people, the answer is yes. Like, for me, I didn't miss it, but I'm just like, and even Twitter has gone down before. And so, like, if all this were to go away, what do you have in place? Relationships. What relationships do you have that can sustain you if social media went away like a dinosaur right now?
Exactly. Who's your core people? Who's your core tribe? Who's your core communications outside of, social media? Like you said, people are losing it, with Instagram going down. People are now losing it, that Twitter has took a shift and now there's a new CEO and there's so many different things. People are losing it. Like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like, I'm so used to doing this, that. And it's just like,
yeah,
life outside.
Yeah, for sure. Even like we had brunch. Oh, so when you first moved to Charlotte and I brought you some strawberry cobbler, I think it's about time for me to make another batch of that. So
it is time, because I really have missed it. And I've been trying to figure out what have I been missing for dessert. And it's definitely that. Because even you just saying it, just put the taste back in my mouth. Okay.
Oh, like for real.
I'm serious. Like Camille got a whole dessert business that she got. That's another stream of income for her that she playing with. But we'll have that conversation another day.
Another day. Point is, moments like that, or going to have brunch, or virtual shopping for your place, whatever we're doing, those little things, that's a part of relationship building, because that's currency in life, right? That's the currency of life, is building relationships.
It is. And I think I don't want to say the new culture is missing out on that, but I think they feel like everything has to be an Instagram worthy moment, or, you going to the store, hanging out with your friend, or, you having brunch, or just having a simple conversation, or just saying, hey, let's, come over and watch movies. In this new culture, it's like, well, it's not an Instagram worthy moment. So we're not really hanging out. Are we not really doing something? Are we really not? And it's like, it doesn't have to be that. Like, build a relationship. It should not be an aesthetic moment for you to say this is a relationship with someone or a connection with someone.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was mentioning Michael earlier, and even though we didn't post all the time on social media, but just recalling those conversations, reading the text messages, and just going back to those times, like even the last time we had dinner before he passed away, like, to me, it means even more, because that wasn't shared with everybody. Everybody wasn't in on that, and only those that knew him. It just made the value of all those conversations that much more valuable. So.
And people don't got to see it. People don't always have to see it. And I think that's the beauty of it. You guys, even though you may have not posted every single story or every single reel or every single, carousel, that was moments for, your connection. Some of those things, it needs to be seen by the world to say, oh, we were friends. No,
like clout chasing though. I hate when people do that when someone passes away or something happens. Then everybody hops in on that post or whatever. But it's like, where were you? Because there were conversations when we had, and he would say things to me, like people that he thought were his friends or supporters of him. Just some conversations we had where he noticed a lot. He didn't say it, but he said a lot. I got an earful from him on some things like that.
And it's sad because, like, when you get to that moment, you realize you don't even got to do all of that. You don't even got to clout chase. You really don't.
I mean, but that's ministry. It's a clout chasing ministry. I'm like, what?
That's where the internal work comes in at, because it's like, baby, you don't gotta clout chase to get in. You don't. You really don't.
So what's the narrative for you as far as because now you're moving deeper into manhood, moving past your past?
Well,
because you got like 2010 Khalil, you got 2015 Khalil, and it's 2022 Khalil. So how do you move on from some of those hiccups in life?
Giving myself grace. Giving myself grace.
That's my word. I absolutely love it. Yes.
Okay. It's so important, because I'm getting to a point, I'm still working on this now, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, what 2010 Khalil taught you is for right now. So you can't beat up 2010 Khalil and 2015 Khalil for the things that he didn't know. Like, it's okay. That's where wisdom comes in at. That's where lessons come in at. Okay, you know the lesson now. Now it's time to apply the wisdom that you have for that, so that way you can move forward and graduate. Like, I have to, because I would beat myself up really bad. Like, just, you didn't do this right, and this happened, and this mistake, and this regret, and all of this. And by the time I was spending my energy on all of that, the present moment where it's time to apply the wisdom that, I have received from, those 2010s and 2015 versions of myself, it's like, spend your energy. I had to, God brought to my awareness, spend your energy on the now. Take from those lessons, take from those different versions of you, and create a new version. Like with an iPhone, you don't see the same version of the iPhone that you see now that was in 2010. You don't see the same version that you see in 2015. You don't even see the same version that you seen last year. It's a new version that's updated, and then they have the beta, program that comes out a couple months before, where you kind of get a test run to see, okay, what do we need to tweak? What do we need to do better for this next era? What do we need to do greater for this next season, for this next update? So it's like, I think I'm now taking time to reassess, like, okay, what's the better that we can do now? Now that we have these lessons, now that we have these certain situations, Khalil, what is the better that we can do now, and how can we be great and do all that God has called me to do in this moment?
Yeah. You know what? That's a really good point, because I've been guilty of that, because I'm always like reevaluating or thinking about, man, what could I have done better? And it's like, wait, that was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. And look at the growth. Because I did a reel about that now, like who I was in 2010 versus 2022, or 2012 versus 2022. Not the same Cam at all. Like my shift, my focus, how I show up, my tone, my everything from 10 years ago is not the same. I'm not even the same person 5 years ago. I'm not even the same person from last year. I'm not even the same person from January. It's all about evolution and growth. But the key you said in that whole synopsis was grace. The grace you give to yourself. So when in exercising that, what does grace look like for Khalil?
Grace looks like giving Khalil a chance to thrive. That's what grace looks like for me. And in other words, not focusing so much on the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and what could have happened, what should have happened, but giving myself the opportunity to say, let's grow. Like giving other people are supposed to water into us, and they are supposed to help water the soil. But giving myself grace is literally telling myself, there's also times that you got to pour the water into yourself. Like you got to take the bottle, you got to take the water and pour into yourself. You can't wait for someone to water the seeds, to water those things. You have to take the time to update your garden. That's what grace looks like for me.
I like that. And doesn't that come with a word I've been using lately? Setting the boundaries and respecting self, and sometimes respecting it. When we really look at self-respect,
Yes.
it also comes into the people around us. And if those people are not aligning with our purpose, our journey, is it really to make us better? Is it a distraction? Is it sabotage? Is it pulling us back? Even with the murder on the attack of Khalil Robinson, we've been hearing this word called friends, and like really evaluating what that really means, and really revisiting, who are we calling a friend? Who is an acquaintance? Who is an associate? Do you have a lot of friends, or do you just know a lot of people? Because there is a difference, right?
There is surely a difference. And I think with social, again, going back to the social media conversation, I think because sometimes we can feel so connected, like, oh, I have this connection with this person, or because the world feels, more connected now, people think that everyone is their friend. And that is not the case. Like you have to know how to categorize, this is my peers, this is, my acquaintances, these are the people that I talk to for business, these are the people that I talk to for, whatever, these are the people that I hang out with. Like everyone is not supposed to be categorized as your friend.
Yeah. So what does friendship look like to you? Or what is your definition of friendship?
My definition of friendship is individuals that can see you for you authentically. Let's start there. Because if you don't have individuals that, when you're not Cam, when you're not Khalil, and they can sit there and say, I'm with you, when you having those days where you kind of not feeling it, you don't want to show up, you don't want to laugh, you don't want to, be the go-to. When you have those individuals that can stick with you through those type of moments, or just through the highs and lows of life, those are friends, people that can genuinely support you. If you never did another episode of Speak Her podcast, if I never did another episode of Creative Radio, and those individuals say, you know, we still support you. What's the next thing? Or, oh, you want to take a break? You need some water? What is it? You need to rejuvenate? What do you need? Those that can really help you with your needs. And I'm not saying crutches are where you be a leech, but where you can be authentically you, where you can stand in front of those individuals and say, this is me. You don't got to put on a mask. You don't got to put on a show. You don't got to change your wording around or change who you are around for these individuals, but those that authentically accept you for you.
I like that. I do want to hear what those that may be watching and tuning in have to say about that. I think for me, you hit on a lot of stuff, and I agree with all of that. I feel like a friend is someone that's going to push you to be better when you're not showing up, as you said, your authentic self, not being your 100% iron sharpened iron. I really believe in that. If I'm wrong, you're going to call me out, say, hey, Cam, man, you need to apologize to so-and-so. And if I don't agree, we can have that conversation. You know, someone that can pray for me when I can't pray for myself, when I don't feel like praying, you know, somebody that I can laugh, cut up with, someone I can talk to and open up to, and that they're not going to weaponize what I told them later if they get mad at me, if I get mad at them, because you do have some people that do that. And you feel like you shared something with them in confidence, and then they come back and weaponize it later. To me, that's definitely on the list. I feel like somebody just to laugh with, but also in those moments, the ugly cry with, you know, or to say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a couple of days. Are you good? Not that we got to sit on the phone for 3 hours and have, hello, Barbara, this is Shirley, you know. Hello, Barbara, this is Shirley. But it's just like, but if that needs to be the case, hey, I got this to do right now, but I'm going to set some time aside. I'm going to call you and we're going to talk. And I'm going to give you my undivided attention if it's for that hour, if we need to talk it out. Even in brand and entrepreneurship, if there's something I see, even though it's not in my lane, you know, we're both podcasters, but you're also a photographer. So if I come across some information that I see, man, this will really help Khalil. Hey, check out this link, check out this website. Because I think sometimes within our community, we're gatekeepers of information, you know, and why should I do that? Why would I do that? And also as being a family, if you're not with your family, I'm your family. So when I look at friend, there's so many things that comes along with that. And I would say, particularly with the pandemic, it's caused me to step back because there were people I was calling friend. Yeah, I was the friend. But then when I look back, the whole situation, they weren't a friend to me. It was when it was convenient for them or when they had something going on. But when I needed them, they were not around. And so when I started seeing patterns, something was like, hey, wait, you need to look at this person again. And so when that happens, now I need to then evaluate your ability to access me, your access to me. Because now, is this a friend or is this someone that I've just known for a while? What?
Sea That's a sea lion moment.
I'm just saying, like, it's a real thing. Like, and there are people that you say that's my friend, but are they deterring you from your spiritual life? Are they hindering your spiritual life? Do they support your spiritual life? Or are they ridiculing you for your choices? Like, are they making fun of you for what you're doing and saying, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you praying all the time? Why are you going to church? Like, are you the subject of ridicule because of differing beliefs? Or do they even respect your beliefs? Not that they agree with them, but do they even just respect and say, well, you know, that's not Khalil's thing. He's not into that.
Because people who ridicule, that's already, you know, we talk about red flags, you know, and a lot of times it's about relational, but platonically, yeah. If you see that someone's always doing like that's a red flag right there. Because that's not your tribe. Like your tribe, even though there's gonna be different things that you all uniquely have, there are certain things that people are gonna respect about you. Like, oh, she praying today. Okay, I respect that. Oh, she's gonna have a conversation today about this. I respect that. Like they're not, it's not gonna be individuals that's gonna say, why is she, like you said, why is she praying so much? Or why he praying so much? Or why they talking so much? Or why they doing this? Like that's already tells you that there's some type of annoyance, and that needs to be clip, chop, chopped, and out the way.
Chop, chop. I gotta add that to the list.
Yeah, bop, 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 chop, chop, chop.
I was waiting on the bop, bop, bop.
You know, it's lessened this year. I guess probably since moving, it's lessened. I have not said it as much.
It's so 21.
Right. It's so 21. It's you already know it's new vocabulary that's gonna come each year. A new word that's gonna come each year. It's just gonna add to the collectionary.
Yeah, he said clip, See, it's kind of catchy, right?
Yeah. See, come on, we gotta put a T-shirt together. Clip, clip, chop, chop. If you ever feel like you need to read something.
Yeah. So as we start wrapping things up, Khalil, we've touched on so many things. So what are some takeaways or things that, because we unpacked a lot. We talked about moving on from the past. We talked about pivots. We talked about mental health and social media. We talked about grief during the holidays. You know, people have lost loved ones, and going through this time of year gets kind of hairy sometimes or whatever. And just even with friendships and that definition. So from everything that we've discussed, what are some things you think maybe that we should consider, or gems you could drop until you come back the next time? And then also where people can find you on social media. So with that, I do want you to kind of drop some of those things there for us and let us know what you have in mind.
Perfect. So I would definitely say, to recap our conversation, number one, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace as we go into this new year. Give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace as we go into this, new year, because I mean, we just like, I don't think we've processed it, but like we just came out of like a still ongoing pandemic. So give yourself grace. Don't be hard on yourself, and take time to reevaluate. Take time to meditate. Take time to pray. Ask God for direction. Ask God, who are the friends in my life that need to stay? Who are the friends in my life that needs to go? What is the next direction for me? Take time to just be with you, and release the noise of social media, as we talked about earlier today. Uh, don't let that be such a thing on your mental, that you're so distracted by social media that you're not in tune with yourself. So I'll say another important part is to stay in tune with you. Where's your voice at? Where is your sound at? Where is your authentic self at? Because the world needs you. The world needs your true self, your authentic self, your voice, versus all this chatter and trying to be like everyone else. So don't compare yourself. Don't look at what everyone else is doing. And I know that's easier said than done, but take time with you. Water your garden, water your soil, and grow. That's my takeaway.
I like that you said taking time to be with you. And
Mhm.
I do want to hit on that just a little bit before we wrap things up here. The importance of having that me time, just being quiet, because we go so much, social media demands so much of us, not to mention day-to-day challenges, work, financial things, family stuff, like all relational things, like all of these things going on. But when do you take time to just do the do not disturb, or just put on some music, or go take a walk, or whatever, that you just quiet your mind? Because it's like from the time you get up, the phone, till you go to bed, the laptop, the phone. I know for myself, I started implementing a routine where after a certain time, there's your mind, you need time to kind of start to wind down. So I'll be like, okay, my last phone call or text is by this time, do not disturb. And then I'm done with that for the rest of the day. In the evening, it's, a Bible class, a devotion, whatever I got to do. And
Mhm.
then try to keep things kind of quiet. And in the morning, same thing. I'm not reaching, checking my social media. I may look at the weather, But my thing is same thing. Turn on my audio Bible app and listen to that and start the day with inspiration and kind of keep things kind of quiet, and I don't take the do not disturb off until like 9 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock, I start checking emails and things like that. But it's just that while I'm getting ready for work, driving to work, I may listen to the radio. Sometimes I turn it off, but that's like my quiet time, because the day you're thinking about everything, you're checking your phone, you're checking your social media, you're looking at emails, you're looking at Twitter, you're thinking about, oh, I need to post about this, and oh, did I? It's just a lot, and it's like when you shut off, because then we wonder like, man, you're in the bed, but it takes so long to go to sleep because your mind is just like just going.
That part, and that'd be the thing. Just be like, like when do we have time to kind of just mute all of this and just
decompress? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally get it. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Khalil, like spending time with yourself, hearing your own thoughts, and I think when it happens, you have time to evaluate maybe how you handle the situation or conversation, or just some ideas have been muddled in the back of your mind, but it hasn't had a chance to come forward because everything else has been suppressing it.
Correct. Freaking right.
I love it. So what do you have going on? What's next? What's going on? What's popping? And where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so we have the new season of Creative Radio coming up and premiering on youtube.com/Khalil Kavon and KhalilKavonstudios.com. So make sure to check that out. We have some exciting projects that we're working on at the end of this year as we wrap this year up. So follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Khalil Kavon to check those out. And you can visit me online at KhalilKavonstudios.com, where I'll be posting some of the new projects that we're working on. So you can definitely stay up to date with me there.
I can't wait for that first episode to drop.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm
really excited. And you'll see me and Camille, we got some things up our sleeve.
I think it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to that. So again, thank you for joining me. And those that are tuning in, I want to thank you so much just for rocking with me throughout 2022, Heart and Soul 2022 with DJ Spade. It was lit. Actually, Khalil, I have one more live before we close the year up. This year zipped on by, right? With a bang. I'm gonna close it out with a bang.
Okay.
So if you don't know, I need you to follow me on my Instagram at Camille.Essick. And I also need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And also I need you to hit that notification bell and stay in the loop on my YouTube channel, because we're closing out 2022 with a bang, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay. So, and as you know, Khalil, and those following me, I have released my culturally friendly holiday downloadable holiday cards are right there on my Etsy shop. You can go right there, hit the link, and grab that merchandise. Also, I have all of my favorite things available on my Amazon storefront. And of course, Good Black Men still exists. Why? Because all of them are not bad. You can grab the merchandise and use the coupon code GBM15. Right there, we have our duos available with the Chemistry Room fragrances, which I'm super excited about that. My most popular scents, I've packaged them as duos. So if you can't make up your mind on which one you want, guess what? You get them both in a whole package deal. So super excited. We try to stay busy. I'm actually, Khalil, I'm trying to slow it down in 2023, but I don't know. Because if I get an idea, I'm gonna run with it. So we'll see.
I'm going to text you, chat. I'm gonna text you, and that phone blown up me my reminders. Come on, Camille.
It's just like if there's anything that I learned this year, confession before we wrap up. One of my biggest fears is if I have an idea and I don't execute it, and then someone else does it, and I go, "Oh, I was supposed to do that," but then sometimes it's like I get excited, and then it's like I bite off more than I could chew at one time. And it's like, pace yourself. And I would say between the last 2 years, I've written 4, well, technically 4, but I put one back because I want to do a revised version.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, out here right now, I have 3 ebooks. I have Good Black Men, Chemistry, and a podcast. And I'm like, Cam, work that. I have enough on my plate to work it. And I think sometimes we want to just be a serial entrepreneur, but you got to work. You got to exhaust your resources at where you're at now before you jump off to the next thing. And so right now, my goal is look at what I have right now and how can I monopolize all those things on my plate before I go back for seconds.
I think we have our next episode, prematurity versus divine timing. Come on here.
Oh, you need to write that down.
I'm definitely write it down.
You need to write that down. I'm serious. I think you need to write that
down. You already know I was writing it down.
When I say Khalil is the king of alerts, I can say, Khalil, I need to do such and such. He will set an alarm on his phone and then call me that Friday and say, hey, how's that going? The king of accountability. You keep me on my toes. Because it was doing in the background and he was like, I'm gonna set your alarm. And it was Thursday and you sent me like the little text like, and I was like, I'm gonna do it, Khalil, I promise. And I was thinking like, I'm gonna do this because I don't want to tell Khalil I didn't do it. And I didn't want to hear your mouth, so I did it. I didn't want to hear your mouth, but I was like, let me, friend, accountability. I was like, let me make sure I do this because Khalil sets alarms on me all the time.
Yes, and Camille knows my mouth, so I'm glad we know.
No lie, so he will set an alarm or reminder so fast.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So with that being said, we're going to end the show.
Come on, let's wrap it up.
I hope everyone got something from this, and definitely, again, Khalil, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that being said, everybody, this is Camille Essig. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Be sure to join me for the last live episode of 2020. About to say 23, Lord have mercy, 22 of 22. It's going to be a phenomenal conversation. That will be on December the 5th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hit the notification bell. Thank you, everybody, and good night. Hold on.